So I've had loads of people asking me about the water pump, electric water pump for the Gilera DNA, or really any 4-stroke leader engine. So to start with, Bosch water pump, electric 12 volt. It's worth noting here that this is a second-hand one, but will work just as well. The other thing we need is a connector. If it comes with it, brilliant. It's not a requirement because it's just spade bits within the water pump. So you can see if you don't have that connector, don't worry too much. There's the connector. That's already primed up with the positive and the negative. So red for the positive, brown for the negative. Cabling wise, 16 gauge cable is what I'm working with here. More than capable of dealing with 12 volts and an electric water pump. So again, red for live, brown for black for neutral. So next, where do you put it? Most people seem to try and put it down here where the old mechanical water pump is. I must admit I don't like it. It hangs out far further than it should, and on top of that you end up running far more cable than you need to at all. For me, I choose this space here. So top left of the rad if you're looking down the bike. Now bearing in mind both on the left and on the right, there's big fist sized gaps here once the fake tank's on there, so there's plenty of space there, and that way we can use this rad hose to plumb it into the system. So electrically, where do I recommend you look at? So for me, this is the ignition. You take the white here, which is live after the ignition is turned on. Now that does mean as soon as you turn the key on, the pump will be running. So you've got to bear that in mind. But I'd say it's a small sacrifice to make to be able to easily fit that. So that sits there in the bike normally. So it's from there that I take my live. Earthwise, you can kind of go anywhere you really see fit, onto the bare frame or onto the engine. For me, I'll be running a fresh neutral, all the way up to the batteries. It's easy to do. When I've got the bike in this condition, it's very easy to run additional wires up the loom. So that's what I'll be doing. So into the wiring, I've stripped the loom back. I've stripped out the white, put a connection and teed into that with my red 16 gauge. I've left that very long because you're going to want this back together and wrapped up before you do the rest. So nice simple crimp connection, nothing special. Yeah, that's how we tee in the live. So there we go, that's the loom rewrapped. I use the adhesive felt stuff. I quite like it. It's like £3 off eBay. I can do a whole loom with one wrap. As you can see, it really does make the loom look very nice. It gives it all the protection it needs. So next is onto the pipework. Right, and so I've made a cut there, joined up the in and the out. New set of hose clamps as well, which is important. If you have a look down at this side, so that's where it's going to sit down like that. By the time I've got everything stitched in, so going well so far. Next is to run the earth to the battery terminal, and then to start sorting out the pipework down here. Right, and here we go, almost finished. That's the cabling in, tucked back in, the loom rewrapped, and then that's the new loop neutral running up there. And again, currently left long. Now it's not black and white, it's not black and red cable, it's a reel, so when you pull it off you do end up with a little bit of red on there, but that will get tagged as neutral as well. Okay, so here we go, finally is the water pump pipe, then into cylinders. That completes the circuit. There we go, so that's how I fit an electric Bosch water pump. If you're in the DNA Facebook group and you want to know where to get a cheap Bosch water pump for at least half what some of the companies sell them at, just give me a shout.